Share to a group. Okay. Hey everybody. This is Donna from Donna's Creative Space. I'm just trying to make sure I am in the right place. I think I am. So, I think I'm in, and I shared it to a couple other groups. So, hello. If you are watching live, it is, let's see, today is September 23rd. This is my Facebook Live for noontime, but I'm doing it a little different because I'm actually doing my half of my virtual card class. Hi, Ellie. How are you? Oh, your card that you won for the drawing went out is going out in the mail today. Put it in the mailbox, so you should be getting that soon. So I'm doing my half of my virtual card class, and I did the other half, which were these two cards. I did on Wednesday night, Wednesday the 21st, right here on my Facebook page, but I also loaded it up to my YouTube channel. So you can go ahead and check that out if you'd like. So there are 4 cards in my virtual class. This is my September virtual class. You can get the kits for these for free if you place an order of $35 or more before tax and shipping. With on my donnasingleton.stampinup.net. So you'll get a card kit that contains the supplies to make these 4 cards, one of each. And I've done all the die cutting for you. And I've tied your bows. You're getting envelopes. This one's nice because it's even in a, excuse me, the base is out of vellum. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to do these 2 today. Like I said, you can go back and look at Wednesdays. If you do earn my card class for free, I will send you the links to both of I'll send you the path to both of the YouTube videos. Or you can just come back here on Facebook. All right, so this one's already out there. And before we go any further, last week, was it last week? I did my Facebook Live. I'll get the name out. And we made the witch card. This was my original sample, and this is the one we made during my Facebook Live. And I put everybody that commented, I took all the names that commented here on Facebook and on my Donna's Creative Space YouTube channel and put the names into a bucket. And Karen Halterman won. So Karen, I don't know if you're watching, but you can either choose. These were really cute. This was a fun fold that had the little frog inside and the little legs with the witch's hat. That was my sample. And hi Penny, how are you? And then this was the card we made in class. Now this one happened to be some designer series paper that had been retired, but this one is some new Celebrate Everything designer paper. It's a host pack of paper. It's a big set that you can only get it if you're a host, which means if you have a $150 order, you become the host. So you could get it. So Karen, I think you've won from me before a few weeks back. Anyway, you can choose which one you want, either the pumpkin background or this little cross background, but you are the winner. And like I said, it's just for commenting here or on Facebook. So I'm just starting to do that as far as giving away. Hi Jill, how are you? Giving away a card for my Facebook Lives. So I guess I could do the same, even though this is a little different. This is my virtual card class, but I could give you one of the cards that I make during this Facebook Live. So I took care of that. It's housekeeping. So that's Karen. I do have, gosh, where are they? I do have a couple people that haven't responded when I said their names. So I think I need people's, oh gosh, hang on, let me grab them. I have Sherry Rollins, I don't have your address. So if you could private message me, you won for the August 22nd. And that was when I did this paper pumpkin. So you can choose one of these cards for that one. But I don't have your address, so you can private message me your address. I thought I might have it. And then Terry H. This was a while back, and I'm pretty sure I notified you, but I need your address and your choice for these two cards. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look and make sure that they've gotten my messages. But yeah, so private message me your addresses, Sherry and Terry. Okay. I guess that's it. Okay, and then Karen, I think I have your address already, but you just have to let me know which one you want out of those two. All right, so that's that. Just a couple more things. I'm using, so Wednesday night I used Apple Harvest and made these two cards, but I wanted to show you that the Apple Harvest does have a die set available during the month of September, and it's part of this Perfect Partners promotion that Stampin' Up! Has going on. Excuse me, I still have the tickle in my throat that I'm trying to get rid of. But if you already have the stamp set, you can buy the dies alone for, let me hold this up, see if that's better. So you could, if you already got the stamp set, you could buy the dies. They're only available for September and while supplies last. Or if you don't have either, and you want to buy them together and save 10%, you can get the bundle for 10% off. You save 10%. And then they have one for the fresh cut flowers stamp set, and you can do the same thing, the dies or the bundle. I'll just show you each of these. Here's the Playful Piggies. That this birthday piggy stamp set now has dies that go with it. Now they're only available right now. They've only told us it's available for September. That could change. They could end up putting them in the next catalog. Who knows? But as of right now, they're only while supplies last, and just available September 1st through the 30th. The stamps are available. They're in the catalog. It's just the dies I'm talking about. So we have Trimming the Tree with the dies or the bundle. And we have the Waterfall Canyon with the dies alone, if you've already got the stamp set. And then you can buy the bundle. I mean, you can buy the bundle if you don't have either. Same thing with Yeti to Party. Stamp set, dies, or buy them together. Okay? So that's that. I think that's it for... Oh, no, one more thing. Paper Pumpkin. For those of you that like getting the Paper Pumpkin, the Christmas one, which are the holiday cards, October's are going to be the holiday cards, and they've kind of given us a sneak peek here. There's a little Santa stamp, and I'm hoping that there's a little snowflake die cut and the word Merry die cut. I hope those are part of it. We don't know. But it does come with an early espresso classic stamp spot, and it's packaged in a cute little box. So that is October. So if you want Paper Pumpkin by you have to subscribe by the 10th of October. Here's the link right there. I'll also put it on this video at the end of this video if you would like to get that. A lot of people sign up for Paper Pumpkin just for this kit alone, and then they cancel it right afterward. Okay, I think that's it. I told you my virtual card class, 4 cards, shop up until the 30th. Use that host code. Make sure you put that host code in. And if you can't find it, the best way to find where to put the host code in is click on the cart, the little cart symbol. And then you'll see my name that you're shopping with me, and then the words add host code underneath my name, and click on that, and a box will open up, and you can put HZQ HA7C2. And after the 30th, I have to wait until the promotion is over, and I will send you a kit to make these 4 cards. You need your own stamp, ink, and adhesive, of course, and embellishment. I am using the champagne rhinestone embellishment, and I didn't put it on here, but with a $50 order, you'll get a package of rhinestones. $35 or more order, you get just the card kit. $50 or more, you get the 4 card kits plus this. Okay, so we did these Wednesday night. If you didn't watch that, go back and watch That was fun coloring them. And now we're going to make these 2 cards. All right, so, oop, I put away the wrong stamp set. We're using Soft Seedlings, which is very pretty for the fall. I'm using 3 ink colors. I'm using Pumpkin Pie, oops, some scraps, Pumpkin Pie, Old Olive, and Crushed Curry. And if you're making this at home, you can just use whatever you have. If you have the stamp set, the way I do the virtual card classes, you can just watch, and if you have the supplies, you can make it on your own. And if you want to shop with me and spend the $35, I'm going to send you the kits, and then you can just, I'll send you the paths to the videos again, and just come back and watch them and put them together. But you do need your own ink, and you would need these 2 stamp sets, Soft Seedlings and Apple Harvest. Of course, if you don't want to make the cards like mine, maybe you have another leaf stamp set, but you just want the card bases and bits and pieces, you can shop with me and get that. You don't have to use what I have, unless you want to make them just like mine. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, I'm using these 3 colors. Let me see if I can pull them down so you can kind of see. And I need to get out a piece of scrap paper to put on my, hang on a sec. I just want, oh my goodness, it's a far reach. So, excuse me, I still have this tickle in my throat. I feel fine. I just had a cold, and I feel fine, but that little tickle in my throat has just lasted forever. All right, so let's do this one first, all right, because this one involves mixing some colors. So you'll need this big stamp, right, that has the leaf, and I don't know what these little things are called. When I was a kid, we called them helicopters because they kind of spun around, and that's this little stamp. We did that on the inside. And then for this card, I have the Thinking of You. All right, and this is special because it's on vellum. I don't know if you can see how it's see-through. Isn't that cool? So, oh, thanks, Ellie. This is a fun card. You do see a little bit of your adhesive, but I don't think it's bad. I think it came out okay. You can see a little bit of it through the vellum, but very, very barely. I don't think people necessarily look at that. You do need, let's see, I told you the ink, some twine. That will be included in your kit. And for this one, we need some scrap paper also, because we're going to be stamping 2 leaves, and we're going to fussy cut them out. So you need your paper snips. All right, so let's go. I've got the card kits, and this is exactly how you'll receive them. In your card kit, you will have your vellum base. Make sure everything's out of there, and you'll have a 1-inch. This is 1 inch by, let me make sure I give you the right measurements. 1 inch by 3 3/4 inch. Then you'll have 2 pieces that are 3 3/4 by 5. This is very vanilla. 2 pieces of very vanilla. Of course, you'll get your envelope. Very vanilla envelope. It's fun to use very vanilla for a change. And you'll have a little bow. I've already tied your bows. This little twine bow. This is out of, it's actually not twine. It's what we call linen thread. But if you have twine, you can use your twine. So let's start by just stamping the inside. Okay, and I have the little, what I called helicopters. I really don't know what they're called. But I am using all 3 of these colors. If you don't have these colors, you can go ahead and use 3 fall colors that you have. And off to the side, I have, well, I'll show you, I have my scrubber. Uh-oh, I just dropped that in ink. Hang on a second. It's very dangerous for me to have open ink pads when I'm working. But here's my scrubber, and I just use my Stampin' Mist. This is how I like to clean my stamps. You can always use, if you have a chamois, just wet that and use that. But I'm going to give it, you spritz, maybe I should show you. You spritz one side with the Stampin' Mist, and then you leave the other side dry. There's a little raindrops there and a sunshine there, but I went ahead and I use my Dymo label maker and I wrote wet and dry because I think it's easier to see that. So you just spritz the left side, the wet side, and then you can scrub. When you have ink on your, you just scrub, and then you scrub on the wet, then you scrub on the dry. So I have that off to the side, so you don't have to see me do that each time. But I'm just gonna put these helicopters on my paper here, and I'm gonna scrub and clean off because I'm switching from one color to the next. And you can just put them on. It doesn't matter the direction on these. And I'm gonna put a green one down here. I picked these 3 colors because it's kind of like the fall colors. Right, we have some leaves right now that are starting to change, and then we have some that are still greenish. All right, so that's done. So that's our inside. So I'm going to set that aside with my vellum so that we can do all the stamping at once. Now this piece, you're going to have a 1 by 3 3/4, and I am going to stamp Thinking of You with the, I'll show you the card itself, and I'm going to stamp it very close to the right edge, because we're going to fussy cut a leaf out. All right, so I'm going to stamp Thinking of You with the Old Olive, and I'm going to stamp right to the right of this Very Vanilla, all the way over, just like that. All right, and I'm just going to clean that while I have it. All right, so now we're going to stamp some leaves on the card front. So you'll have a scrap piece, and this one I happen to cut the scrap at an angle. You may just get, oops, this was an extra piece. You may just get 3, I might give you 3 3 3/4 by 5, and that way you don't have to worry about which one to use for what, because you'll have 2 exactly the same size for your card, and then another piece for scrap. So we're going to do the front of the card, and I'm going to start with, and it doesn't matter, I just put them random. I did a pumpkin, an Old Olive, and the crushed curry. I think I'm going to start with the crushed curry, and I'm going to ink this up. Make sure I have ink all the way, all around, and I'm going to put this right about here, just like that. And since we're using the same stamp, we have to wash it in between each color. I'm going to close my yellow because I don't have to use it again. All right, and now I'm going to use my pumpkin, and I'm going to put it up in this corner. And I really don't have to I don't have to ink up this portion of it, but just in case, depending on how deep I go. And I'm going to use, I have scrap paper, in fact. It's sliding around, so I am going to take a couple pieces of, hang on one second, I'm going to take a couple pieces of Scotch tape and tape this down so that it's not, and you want the scrap paper, because see how we stamped off the edge of the cardstock? So let me ink this up again. I believe I was doing the pumpkin, and I'm going to put this one coming down this way, just like that. And then I need a scrap one of these. So I'm going to just take my scrap, and because I'm going to cut out, I'm just going to stamp it towards the top of this because I need the whole leaf on this one. I'm going to clean this again, just like that. And I'm done with the orange, pumpkin pie. And now we want to do, I cleaned that, I want to do the green, the Old Olive. And this is 3 3/4 by 5, and you need 2 of those because they have to be exactly the same size, because when we put it on the vellum, and I'm going to make sure I get this little helicopter guy. I don't know what it's called. If you guys know, go ahead and tell me on here so that I don't make a fool of myself telling everybody what I think it is. We called them helicopters as kids because they just, when they fell from the trees, they just spun around. So you want to make sure you have scrap paper underneath so that your excess can go on there. So that's our outside of the card, but we, again, need one for fussy cutting. So I'm going to ink it up, and I'm just going to do it here, just like that. All right, and I'm cleaning this because we're going to use it on the next card. I want to make sure it's nice and clean. But for now, I will put this away. All right, and let's fussy cut these out. I'm going to cut this in half. And the fussy cutting these won't be too bad because it's kind of a I don't know what the word, rigid, or it's not like a real hard thing to cut out. You just have to kind of go around the edge. I like to leave a little bit of, normally I'd say white, but we're using very vanilla this time. So I like to use a little bit of very vanilla as I cut these out. And I'm just snipping it along. And I'll show you what I mean. It doesn't take too long. And you want to have nice sharp scissors. Every once in a while I'll cut off extra just to get rid of it so it's not in my way. And if you don't want to turn, you could just cut into it like this and then like that. But sometimes I like to turn because, and I do want to have, I like to turn because I like to be able to see what I'm cutting. I can't always see the other side. So I'm going to cut, we want some of this stem, but I want to cut off that little helicopter. I wish I knew what that was really called. So I'm going to cut this off like that. Now I have my stem. And then I'm going to proceed, oops, bend that down, get it underneath there, and go up the other side of the leaf. Now this one, what is it? Oh, I have glue. I must have cut a glue dot in half, and I was wondering why I was having such a hard time. I'm like, why is it sticking to this paper? So these are my regular paper snips. I use them for cutting glue dots or anything that has, for paper, and anything that has adhesive. But I do have a pair, an extra pair, because they're only like $10. Hi Tommy, how are you? I have another pair that I keep a ribbon on it, and that way I only cut twine and ribbon with those. And so I'm just cutting around the edge of this, just like this, and I'll finish cutting this leaf. It's not that hard. I didn't think it would take too much time, otherwise I would have cut it ahead of time, but I think that we're almost done. It's not too bad. And the other one, I'm only going to use like half the leaf, so I don't have to cut too much of that one. But I'll show you how I decide on which part of the leaf to use on that one. So this is harder when you kind of have the part hidden on the other side of the scissors. That's why I like to kind of turn sometimes. If I go in and I turn and come up. And that's why I'm using these small paper snips, which are really sharp, but they're nice and small, so I can do that, where I keep the image to my left. All right, I think that's good. If I have any white space, it's a little thicker than other spots. Try to do it as even as possible. All right, so that leaf is cut out. Now when it comes to this leaf, well, I'm going to use my trimmer. So that's one leaf. I want to decide where I'm going to put this leaf. So I'm going to cut kind of just from maybe, I'm going to cut just the top part of the leaf, not near the stem, because we're only going to use part of this one. The other one we're using the whole leaf. I'm sorry if I keep going out of the image area. I tend to start out in the middle and then I get closer and closer and closer to myself. Hey Shelly, how are you? Happy Friday to you too as well. How are you feeling? I hope you were better. I've been thinking about you a lot. Hope you're feeling better. All right, so now we're going to just trim, trim, trim. And so, like I said, we're not going to do the whole part of this leaf, but I will show you how I'm going to line it up with, with the card to see where I want to put it. And then I'm going to, then I'll use my paper trimmer to get a nice straight edge. You could glue it on and just use the edge of your card to go by, but I think that the way I'm going to do it, I like it better, because then I don't have to worry about cutting into my vellum or anything else. Now if you don't have a trimmer, of course you can do it the other way. So I think that's enough. So this is what I was saying. So I want to put this coming in like this. I actually think I want to cut, I want it like this. So I am going to cut a little bit more off of here. just like this. But I only want part of the leaf to come in. So I think what I want to do, let's see, I kind of want to go up this way. So I think I'm going to cut this. Geez, I almost cut the whole leaf. That's kind of funny. All right. So I'm going to take a pencil. And so if I have my leaf coming up like this, right, I do want to, oh, you know what I want to do is I want to put this down first. So I'm going to take my sentiment and my adhesive. All right, and this is going to go flat, not up on dimensionals. And I'm going to put this just about, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, just like that. And I'm going to push it all the way across. It should line up, but since I cut them at different times, it could be that there's a little bit hanging over the edge. I'm just going to trim that. All right, so now that that's there, I can kind of figure out where I want my leaf. Because this one here is going to come over here. Right, but we'll place this one when I get it on the vellum. But this one I know I need to cut it off. So you can do this one of two ways. You can put this on with dimensionals and then turn it upside down and trim it off. But what I'm going to do is just this. I'm going to put it the way I want it. I kind of want it to go up in the, I think I want it at an angle. But I don't need the stem. Look at, I told you not to cut the whole thing out, but you really kind of cut. You can figure out how much you want. So I'm going to put it at an angle. So I'm going to put a little mark right here. Oops, let me get this leaf out of the way. I'm going to put a little mark here and a little mark there with my pencil. And then I'm going to pull out my trimmer. And I'm going to line up that little, I have ink all over my fingers. I'm going to, where did I lose it? That mark there. And the other one, oh goodness gracious, where'd it go? Right, I think it's right there. Let me see. Yes, it just happens to be right at the end. Okay, and I'm just going to line up those two marks on my trimmer, just like this. And then I'm going to slice it, and I have a nice even edge. And I think I actually sliced off my pencil mark, but just in case, I'll do that. And that's done. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better, Shelley. All right, now, this is the part. Now, we're using the vellum card base, which is really cool. And let me get all these pieces out of the way. And I think I'll even pull this up for now so that you can see a little better. All right, so we have our vellum, and I did score it for you. All right, so you can fold this in half. And it was a little different scoring vellum, so make sure you fold it in half, and the score line's there, but make sure, oops, there's a random pearl. Hang on, let me get rid of that pearl, where that came from. And I'm going to match up my corners, and I'm going to take my bone folder. And the corners should match up because of the score line I put in there, but I still like to do that. Right, so we give it a nice crease with the bone folder. All right, so now it's going to open up like this. You can use whatever adhesive you want, but you want to make sure it is not see-through. I did a couple tests ahead of time with some scraps that I had left over, and this was glue dots. And I felt I was going to do glue dots in each of the four corners, but if you can see, I think that the glue dots show up pretty much. Can you see that? Maybe you can't, but they show up in person. They showed up more than when I put a strip of adhesive. Because adhesive, as long as you try to do it kind of straight on your card, it doesn't show up as much. So I opted to use my adhesive. But if you want to do glue dots in the four corners, you can. Just make sure that you don't use an adhesive that is colored. Like this is an old Stampin' Up! Snail, but it's got Tombow inside, and it's kind of got a blue tint, and I'll show you how this would look like. It's got a little bit of a blue tint, so you kind of see the blue. I don't know if this is going to show up on the camera, but you'd see a blue tint, so you don't want to use any tinted adhesive. If you use adhesive that's white, you're going to really see it through the vellum. So I would use the clear adhesive, if you have it. I don't know about the glue. Liquid glue might show up. But anyway, I'm going to take and put the adhesive nice and straight on the back, because it will show up a little bit, but not really enough to make it a problem for me. And then you're going to take this now. Oh, I do want my grid paper back. Hang on. I do want the grid paper because I want to be able to line it up. So I'm going to line up my vellum on the lines. It just will help you if you have grid paper. You don't have to have this, but I think it does help. And I'm going to put like a 1/4 inch, so I'm going to use the grid line to kind of make it. And you don't have to do this with the front because you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to, this way it's nice and straight, 1/4 inch all the way around. See? Now I'll get rid of this. See that? So I use the grid paper to line that up. And we sell the grid paper, you know, the big 11 by 17. But if you're just working in small spots, we have this. This is made for the Stamparatus because it fits perfect size in the Stamparatus. But it's just small grid paper, so I kind of like to use it when I'm doing these videos because I don't like that necessary to have a big piece of grid paper all the time. All right, so now we're going to close this, right, so we can see through. So our other piece, we are going to put our adhesive nice and as straight as possible, and I'm only doing it around the edge. Excuse me, I just have to have a sip of my iced coffee. I start to talk a lot and my throat gets dry. So I'm going to take this and position it right on top of the other because these are the same size. They're both 3 3/4 by 5. So you want to line it up. So the top one is going to cover the bottom one, just like that. Isn't that cool? And I just like the vellum look to it. And see, you really can't see those lines too much. I don't know if you can or not. Sometimes it's harder with the video. But that's what you do with that. And now we just have to take these pieces. I'm going to put these up on dimensionals. Now this one here, the reason I waited, because I want to position this one, I don't want the little corner. You could cut off this edge, but I liked having a full leaf on one side and then the partial on this side. But I'm not lining it up with the vellum. You can if you want. I'm going to line it up with the inside. So I'm going to put dimensionals on both of these leaves. I think I'm out of image area. Sorry about that. And right there. And one there. I think I am going to, I'm going to take one of the ends and put it on this skinny part because I do want it to sit nicely. All right, so let's do the full one first. Take these pieces off. Just like that. And just going to put this right. I don't want the edge. Remember, I want to be able to, it to be able to fit into my envelope. So I'm just going to tilt it until it's able to be off this edge but not covering up. I don't know if you can see this with my hand in the way. I don't want the thinking of you to be covered up. All right, but I want to make sure that this isn't past, see, it's not past my edge because I want to be able to fit this into the envelope. All right, so there's that one. And then this one, now we cut that nice straight edge. If you put it on earlier, that's fine. But I wouldn't put this one on until you have it on the vellum. But this one, I'm just going to line up the edge with the edge of my card. And I think I want it a little higher. So I want the yellow to show, but I also want, I don't want to miss, like if I put it there, you don't see much of the yellow. And so I'm going to put it up a little higher and line up the edges before I push it down. And there you have that. Isn't that cool? So we have 2 leaves that have dimension to them. And it's such a pretty card, I think. So, get rid of this. We have a couple things. We're just going to decorate it a little. Now, we have our little twine bow. Now, if you have glue dots with twine, these are kind of big for, hang on, for these. You have to kind of cut them in half. I've been saving my glue dots from my paper pumpkin. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to grab my, take your pick tool, And I'm going to take one of these off. And so the backing's still on it, but now I can take it and put it on the back of my little twine bow. I think it's better when you're using twine, and they're tinier than our glue dots that are on the roll. But if you have the roll ones, just cut it in half. And then I'm going to put the bow right here. Oh, this one looks like it's twisted a little. I've been manhandling these cards. All right, so I'm going to put that there, and then we just need some bling. So I have these champagne rhinestones. So if your order is $50 or more, just love that on the vellum. It is so pretty, isn't it, Penny, on the vellum? So I put a medium-sized one kind of right here. I like to do odd numbers, so I'm just going to put 3 on this card, just like that. Isn't that pretty? Right? Isn't that? I just love this card. So that's that. That is our first card, and it wasn't hard at all. Took a little bit of time, but it's well worth it because I just think this whole vellum idea is a great little thing. I don't think it's that noticeable that you can see the adhesive behind. I've worked with vellum before, and I've used a sponge to sponge on the liquid glue. That does work, but I don't think that it's that bad with the your tape runner. All right, so that is the first card. And now we are going to do this next card. This is a fun one too. So for this one, you need some daubers. I save all my little plastic bags that embellishments and stuff come in. I do have, I'll show you what I keep them in this. This is a case that has all my, I try to label them. And I keep them in this case, but because I'm keeping it as a project, like if I was teaching a class or something, I put them in little plastic bags so that the ink doesn't get on each other. And I have them all labeled with just a little label that I got. What color gems? Oh, Penny, these are the champagne rhinestones. That's what I used on these. And I used them on, I'll show you, I even used them on the apple cards. And I think that they looked fine on the apple cards because they kind of make it look like a little pinkish tint. And I think they worked great with the, I don't know if you can see them on the screen, but don't you think they looked good? I think they looked good. Oops. Oh, I bent that one. It's a big one right there. I think maybe you guys can't see them I'm trying to tilt them, but they almost look like being near the red, they almost give it like a pinkish tint, even though they're champagne. All right, so I have 3 daubers, and we do sell these in a pack of 5. I forget how much they are, but we do sell them. I want to say they're like, let me grab some because I have some left over. Yeah, they're $5. They're $5. So we have those, and I love using them because they're daubers, but they fit on your finger. I still just grab the end of it sometimes. If I'm doing the edging of something, you know, you might use it on your finger to do the edging when you make something look kind of gosh, what am I doing next? Oh, where is my card kit? I know it was right. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay. So, your card kit will have 2 strands of linen thread. It looks like twine, but it's really it's called linen thread. If you are doing this on your own, I cut these to 5 or 6 inches. Yeah, these look like they're about 5 3/4. So I would say cut it 5 or 6 inches. And I have a smallish bow, not real tiny. All right, and then because I think I told you everything on this, I told you 3 3/4 by 5, 2 of those, very vanilla, right? Your vellum is your usual card base. It is 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4. Now, if you get the card kit, everything's cut for you. I had a scrap piece to do these 2 leaves, and then this piece here with the sentiment is, you could stamp right on. You don't need a separate piece, but I kind of like it having its own place. And that is 1 by 3 3/4. So those are those two. So for this card, we are using an old olive card base. And again, it's 5.5 by 8.5. And it's scored at 4 1/4. All right, and did I do anything? I didn't do anything on the inside, but I will. So we have a 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside that I'm going to set aside for now. And then we have a crushed curry mat that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then we have Very Vanilla, and this is 3.5 by 4 3/4. All right, and then I have a banner, a pierced banner, and that is cut out using, these are the Stylish Shape dies, and it's not here because it's in the other room near the die cutter, but that is the next size up. It's like there's 4 banners, so I would say it's the second from the smallest. You need one of those, and then this is a piece of old olive that is 1/2 inch by 2 3/4. All right, and you get your Very Vanilla envelope. Okay, and let's see. And the reason I didn't put down, just so you know, I didn't put down my Stampin' Pierce mat because these are red rubber, so they have cushion, so I don't necessarily need to use the cushion. Whereas the other night when I was doing the, oh no, it wasn't the apple blossoms, it was different, it was my paper pumpkin. When you're using photopolymer, you do need a little cushion underneath. So when the red rubber has the cushion, you don't necessarily have to stamp on anything. I am going to start by stamping. Let's see, we need all 3 inks again. But I just need the green for the So Grateful. So let me get that stamped. I love these Stylish Shapes because it's banners and it's squares and circles. So I'm going to stamp So Grateful right on this. Just like that. And now we have to get our leaf back again. So I've already washed this. And I look like I have a little bit of glitter. I don't know where the glitter came from. Excuse me. I'm sorry about my little clearing of the throat constantly. Let me get my paper back. And I want to get out my 3 inks again. All right, and I want to start with, let me move away all these other pieces. Let's see if this is in the right spot. Hey, Don. Hi, Tracy. Catching me on your lunch break. Yay. Glad you can join me. I am doing well. I don't sound it, but I am doing well. My voice is still going in and out. All right, so we have, but nice to see you here. Thanks for watching. All right, so I have my crushed curry, my, excuse me, paper pumpkin, no, my pumpkin pie, and my old olive. And I have a dauber dedicated to each color. All right, so I have my crushed curry, my pumpkin pie, and my old olive. So they're right in front of me. Excuse me. I actually am not going to use my crushed curry now that I think of it. Am I? No, I'm going to stamp with the crushed curry. I'm going to ink this up in crushed curry, and then I'm going to add pumpkin pie and old olive with daubers. Even though I have my crushed curry, I may use it if I need to go out and grab a little bit more. So I'm going to ink up with the, so I got yellow, the crushed curry all over it, right? And you're going to have to wash in between when we do this other stamp. But for this big one, we only have to do it once. So I'm going to take the pumpkin pie and I'm going to put it in the ink and just get some ink on this. And you can see it gets the ink on it, right? And I'm going to take it and I'm going to just put some, and you want to start with light to dark, but I'm just going to go around and I'm just going to add some, I'm not doing it in any particular place, but just going to put some orange on there. And then orange, I should say the real color, pumpkin pie. Then I'm going to take the old olive one and I'm going to just go in and I'm going to, put maybe some on the tips of the leaf, maybe a little here and there on the inside, the base. Maybe I want to do more of my color on the stem and some green on these little, whatever they're called, helicopters. That's what I'm calling it. So, and then I'm going to take this piece. Now this is going to go on kind of right like this, but since we started out with the crushed curry and took some time, and I was talking in between, and we put the pumpkin pie on, and then we did the old olive. Now we want to do, I want to do a little, I see a lot of space. I'd like to put a little bit more green. Just like that. All right, so since the ink has been sitting there from the first time when we put the crushed curry, you want to make sure it's all moist. So we do this thing called huffing. I know that means something else in other venues, but you're just going to breathe on this and give it a little on it, all right? So I'm putting it up to my mouth because you can't see me, but kind of like when you clean your eyeglasses or your sunglasses, you kind of huff on it to give a little bit of, a tiny bit of warm air from your mouth. So I'm going to stamp this right here, kind of with the leaf towards the center. And you'll see it'll come out in all different colors. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. And I can go back in. That's why I had this cover. See how it's lighter in the center of this leaf? I can go in and take my crushed curry. Make sure you're using the right color. And I can brighten that up if I want to add a little bit of the yellow, if I think it needs more. But look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I love this technique. Now we're going to do the same thing with the helicopter, or whatever this is called. All right, I'm going to ink it up with the yellow. Let me put my crushed, I should say, ink it up with crushed curry. And then I'm going to take the pumpkin pie, and I'm going to put a couple spots of pumpkin on there. And then I'm going to put a couple of spots of the green. And I don't want to do a lot of the green because I just want a tiny, tiny bit. And then we'll put this one here. And you want to do it on grid because we're going off the edge. Just like that. So pretty, right? Now, you can't just go back in with this. You have to wash this. So off to the side, I'm scrubbing it on my scrubber. In fact, I'm going to give it a couple more spritz of my Stampin' Mist. Scrub it, get a nice clean and dry, because that's what's great about the scrubber. You have the wet side and the dry side. So you scrub it with the cleaner, the mist, the Stampin' Mist, and then you do the dry side so it dries it off for you. So now I'm going to ink it up with the yellow again, because I want to put one here. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 more. I don't really want anything up in this corner. So ink it up in the yellow. We're going to put a little pumpkin here and there. And every time you do this, you will have a different looking helicopter, or whatever the image is you're working on. So I'm going to put this one here. I'm just going to kind of fill in the area. Oh, is that pretty? I love doing this. And this is a great technique, especially for the fall, because we know how leaves look. They don't turn like completely from yellow to orange, like solidly. You know, they get a little bit of different color in them. So, just like that. And I'll put one over here. Ugh, I just love this. All right, and then I'm going to put, I think I want part of a leaf showing here, and then just to fill in the area a little. So I cleaned it off, get up yellow, cut up pumpkin, and I really don't even need to, I could have just done one of the leaves, but I don't know which way I'm going to put it on the paper, so I'll do both. In fact, I think I'm just going to do it like this. We'll get a little bit of each, and clean it, ink it up. I know it's monotonous, but you get such a beautiful result when you're done. All right, and again, and you could just use the yellow, the crushed curry, and the pumpkin pie if you don't want to add the green. I'm just going to put one little leaf there. All right, so there, I have it all done. Actually, I think I want to have a little one peeking here, so let me, I like to leave this area open because I'm going to be putting, then it looks like it's falling. I just want a little tip down here. So I think I'll just do this one leaf and kind of put a little bit of orange on there. And I don't even think I need to ink up. Just like that. Just a little, did I do the right one? Yeah. Okay, just like that. All right, so it just looks like everything is kind of hanging there. Oh, I wanted to do, I do have to clean it once more because now this is a horizontal one. I forgot, I gotta do the inside. So I'm gonna ink up again. I know you're probably tired of watching this, but it's almost over. I think I'm gonna put them in this top corner so they're kind of falling. Get out. Yellow. Pumpkin and a tiny bit of green. And this one, I'll have just coming down like this maybe. Ah, that looks so pretty. And I'm going to leave it at that, just in the top right corner. All right, and I'll put these away later. Close up my ink. Actually will put those right back in my stamp case. I don't have to use the plastic bags. Right. I'm going to do that right now. Stick these in so that they are put away. Won't need them again. All right, so let me move this. I hope you guys like this technique. I think it's fun to do the coloring like this. So what this one is going to go, still have a little bit more to do, but this card is almost done. So this is going to go on the inside of our card, just like that. So it looks like, oh look at, I just smudged it, but that's okay. Did I touch? I must have touched something. Hang on. I have one of these mono things, and I'm just gonna just put everything away, right? Oh. This usually works, but if it doesn't work, I might have to make a new one. Oh bother. Do you hate when that happens? You get ink on your finger, but this is working. This is working fine. You just kind of, it's a sand eraser. Not a sandpaper, but a sand eraser. You just kind of use it swirling back and forth. That worked out good. And now, this will go in here. I think I want to do a little bit more. All right, that's perfect. Okay, so now this here goes on this crushed curry. And then we're going to wrap our twine. So I haven't done the twine yet. But I didn't mount this on the front yet because we want to wrap the twine first. Just like this, right? And now, where are my two pieces of twine? I have my bow. Oh my goodness. I probably knocked them somewhere. Oh my goodness. I may have to cut two more. I wonder if they're on the floor. I know I had them. I saw them come out of the envelope. Oh, I see them. I put them way off to the side. All right. So I want them to come right around here. So I'm going to put adhesive on the back right around here. All right. Put adhesive here and here. And I'll do one at a time. I'm going to get a tissue and wipe my fingers off, though, because I don't want to ruin the front of this. This was a lot of work. If I had to redo the inside, that wouldn't have been too bad. All right, so now I'm gonna put this about, I don't know, a little more than a quarter, a little less than a half an inch. Just eyeball it. Just eyeball it straight like that and press it down. You can always let me get my ribbon scissors, trim off what you don't need. And then I'm going to put the other piece right next to it. So this makes it look like we wrapped it around twice, but we didn't. This way people will think that we wrapped it around twice. Now, if you want, You can, when you go around this with adhesive, it'll all stick, but sometimes I like to just add a little bit of Scotch tape. Oh boy, here's Misty. A little bit of Scotch tape to hold those ends down, but you don't have to. So now I can put my adhesive, because the adhesive, you can go right over the linen thread, but I do like adding the Scotch tape if you have it handy. Can you guys hear Misty? She must be hungry. It's lunchtime. She's woken up from her little nap. I feel like I have a baby. And I'm just going to center this on this card. Misty! I'm doing a Facebook Live and you're interrupting me. Alright, so now... Oh my goodness. Where did I put... Ay, ay, ay. Now I'm missing the little... See, I dumped everything out, and then I just kept moving stuff. I dumped it out. Where's my little... I have a little strip of... It's probably right in front of my face, but I don't see it. I know I had it. I saw it come out. There's a little piece of old olive. It's not where the... Here's my bow. Oh, goodness gracious. Sometimes things get stuck underneath. It's on the floor. I don't see it. Oh, for goodness sake. I swear I had it. You guys probably saw me it come out. I'm just looking. I do have a piece of scrap next to me. If I have to, I can... I wonder if I threw it away when I cleared off my table. Huh, I don't know. I don't see it in the trash. Oh, for heaven's sake. Can you guys see it anywhere? Oh my goodness. Well, I will have to cut another one. Let me see. I have some scrap here. I know it was here because I gave you the measurement for it, didn't I? I don't know. It might be on my floor. My carpet is green, so maybe it's blended in. But that's okay. I know it is 1/2 inch by 2 3/4. So I will just... Let's see. This is 2 3/4, so I just have to cut it 1/2 inch. And we have it back. Now I'll probably find the other one now that I did that. All right. Back to this. So here's my So Grateful. So, oh my gosh, Misty, I'm almost done. Give me a second. So I'm going to take this and put it on this 1/2 inch and kind of center it. It's just to add a little bit of color behind this. And then that's going to go up on dimensionals. And I'm going to put one in the middle and one on each end. I love this card. I love both of these. I love this all 4 of these cards for this virtual card class. I had fun doing them. I like coloring, so the apples were fun to do. So this is going to go over here in this corner, just like that. Make sure it's straight. Okay. And then we want to put our bow on. Again, I'm going to use a regular glue dot if you have it, or liquid glue. You could use whatever you have. Take your pick tool. And I put it on the back of my bow. I think it's these little ones are perfect for... I used to hate them in the paper pumpkin, and now I love them and I like saving them. So this is going to go right up here to make it look like we tied a bow, just like that. No one will know that we didn't wrap it around. And now we're going to put on some of these champagne rhinestones. Look how pretty that is. And that's the second card. Yay, we're all done. All right, so this was the part 2 of the virtual card class to go. So I'll pull out the other 2 cards. Let's see. So you'll get in your kit enough to make one of these, one of each of those, and one of each of these. All right, and you just have to spend $35 in my online store, donnasingleton.stampinup.net, and I will send you a kit to make these 4 cards. Of course, you need your own ink, your own adhesive, and your own stamp sets if you want to make them exactly like these, or you might want to shop with. You don't have to buy the stamp sets. As long as it's $35, you can buy whatever you need. Maybe you need $35 worth of adhesive, but you'll get everything here to make. I'll do the die cutting on these cards I made Wednesday night. I'm gonna put a little piece of paper in there with the pictures of the cards so that you can see the cards and the path to this video on YouTube once it's loaded on YouTube, and the video I did on Wednesday night. And yeah, so that's it. So you can, some people just shop with me because they want the card bases and all the die cuts, and they make their own cards. And once you get these, you don't need to have the exact colors that I have. You can use what you have. These I colored in with Stampin' Blends. You can watch Wednesday's video, part 1 of the virtual card class, to see how I colored those. So that's it for today. And I will, since I did these today, I will take the comments from today. I'll give you guys until Monday to comment, share, and like. And that way, if you're watching any of my videos on my Donna's Creative Space YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button. That really helps me, believe it or not. Subscribing and giving me a thumbs up, hitting the notification button, it all helps me and my business. And I do appreciate you guys. Everybody that's placed orders with me since the beginning of October last year helped me earn the cruise to Norway, which will be, we earn it this year for next year, so it will be next May. So I'm very excited about that. So that's it, guys. So you will get, this was today's. So when you comment, share, like, follow, all that kind of stuff. Oh, thanks, Ellie. I will pull a name for, and they can pick either one of these cards to get as their little comment award. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. And enjoy your weekend. Oh, thanks, Ellie. Yes, I want it. All right, so take care, guys. I will see you next time here on Donna's Creative Space. Bye-bye.